With Deshaun Watson's future unclear and Tom Brady making a controversial entry, quarterback drama continues in the NFL. Training camps are set to open in just a couple of days, and the controversies keep on mounting. Will Watson be suspended for allegations of sexual misconduct? And did Brady force out Arians? Keep watching this video as we give you the latest updates on the star quarterbacks. First up, a $322 million extension. We gotta hand it to Cleveland. They did a lot just to get three-time Pro Bowler Deshaun Watson on board. Like, not only did the front office give up 6 draft picks, but they also guaranteed his $322 million extension. But little did they know that the 26-year-old star quarterback had trouble written all over him. It's been 17 months since Deshaun was first accused of sexual misconduct, and since then, he's been accused another 23 times, adding up to a total of 24 lawsuits. Watson and his legal team did manage to settle 20 out of the 24 cases, but it's still pretty unclear whether he can return to professional football. And while we're hoping he's able to settle what's left of the lawsuits, Deshaun will probably be facing suspension under the NFL's personal conduct policy. Because, let's face it, even if he walks away cleared from all of the lawsuits, this guy seriously needs to spend some time off because 24 lawsuits is a lot. We're not sure how long he'll have to sit out, but it was made pretty clear during the hearing that his suspension will last at least a year. It could be more than that, but it won't be anything short of a year. And while the time off is probably going to help Deshaun a lot, it just makes things so much more tricky for the Browns. They didn't exhaust 6 draft picks and guarantee a plus $300 million contract only to leave their season in the hands of Jacoby Brissett. But to be fair, Deshaun had a pretty spotless image when the Browns first drafted him, so it's kind of an unfortunate tale that they're giving up so much just to get him on board, only to play without him for an entire year. Next, out of options. Now, Cleveland did have a really good bet to tackle the whole Watson situation, but call it bad luck or a series of bad decisions, they have no options but to play Jacoby for the season now. When the news first surfaced that Deshaun would probably be suspended for a year, the Browns turned to Baker Mayfield. They tried to convince him that it was in his best interest to be the star quarterback who stepped up and filled Watson's shoes. Oh, and the Browns also tried to bait him by telling him how it'll drive up his own free agent price and whatnot. And for a while, it seemed like things would actually work out between Cleveland and Mayfield. But then came July 6th. For some odd reason, the Browns ate $10 million off his contract and traded him to the Carolina Panthers for a conditional 5th-round pick. And by the way, Mayfield looked absolutely exceptional in his practice session with the Panthers. He also yelled at an old Browns fan telling him to get that jersey out of here. Anyway, we're guessing all this has something to do with the Cleveland Browns. That's why we're confused whether it's bad decisions or bad luck. The franchise has literally switched 32 starters in the past 23 years. Looks like there's a QB curse at the Browns or something. Still, it isn't like Mayfield has it super easy at Carolina. He's actually in a pretty intense competition with his counterpart, Sam Darnold. It looks like the two quarterbacks had their own little war going on to make a spot on the playing 11. And now, for some power politics. Despite going through a mini retirement at 40, Tom Brady is still one of the biggest names in the NFL. And, being diehard fans of the sport, we consider ourselves super lucky to see him on the field again. Because let's face it, Big Brady only has about a year of football left in him. But that doesn't mean he can go around playing power politics with 70-year-olds. It appears as if he's finally won the power struggle at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as Bruce Arians is on his way out. Of course, these are only rumors for now, but literally everyone is naming Brady to be behind his exit. And we're not exactly sure what may have been happening behind the scenes, but it just seems so fishy. Like retiring and then coming right back just before Arians leaves the team? Coincidence? Anyway, there's probably a lot going through Brady's head right now. He probably wants to go out with a bang. We're guessing he wants to call the shots and control the team to win another Super Bowl ring maybe. He didn't have to get Arians sacked for that though. It's like the only reason he chose to go to Tampa in the first place is because of all that newfound influence and control. You know, all the things he never had at the Patriots. But lucky for Deputy Todd Bowles, who just got handed a team capable of winning the championship. Time for some news on the NFL. Up next, the controversial homework clause. The Cardinals made a huge commitment to talented QB Kyler Murray by signing him for a whopping $230.5 million contract extension ahead of training camp. The surprising bit, the contract had an independent study clause, or what we like to call the homework clause. So, like the name suggests, Kyler had to complete at least 4 hours of independent game study material each and every single week. But what does that even mean? Well, think of it this way. It's like saying Kyler doesn't understand the game as much as other players, and that's why he needs to study up on it. It makes him sound like he's more of a student of the game rather than a well-established player. Honestly speaking, we think that's pretty absurd. Like, you need to have some crazy skills to play in the NFL. And even with a $230 million contract, they expect him to study 4 hours per week? Seriously? Anyway, Murray called the clause a joke and said he finds it really disrespectful to his game. We completely agree with that. Murray is a gifted player, if anything, and he certainly doesn't need to study the game 4 hours a week. Thankfully, the Cardinals understood the assignment and immediately ripped up the homework clause. They claimed it was doing more good than harm, and that's why they decided it's better Kyler gets to compete like every other player in the league. But he's 40, and he just came out of retirement. EA Sports has finally released Madden NFL 23, and instead of the usual praise, they've gotten a lot of criticism from football fans all over the world. The main controversy starts with how they've ranked 40-year-old quarterback Tom Brady. He topped the list again with an incredible 97 rating in the QB rankings. What a journey though. The first time he started in the EA franchise back in 2002, he had a rating of just 51. But fans aren't having it. They've criticized EA for ranking him at the top even though he's 40 and just came out of retirement. Now, we're not saying he isn't one of the best QBs in the league, but come on, we get he's a legend and all, but there's a lot of other QBs in the game that are much more athletic, agile, and talented than him now. Even the official Twitter sports handle wasn't having it and called EA out by tweeting that he's a 97 in the game but literally retires like every single year. Finally, the rookie's back. Titans rookie, WR, wide receiver Treylon Burks, is back with a bang as he just completed his first training session after recovering from some underlying asthma issues. Burke has lost 5 to 6 pounds in attempts to battle his ongoing issues, but the star wide receiver claims he's excited to finally be part of the regular training sessions. He also commented on his health issues and told the media he's now made some big changes in his conditioning routines that sort of helped him perform better without too much strain on his breathing. We're guessing it was probably those changes that helped him pass the Titans conditioning test last Wednesday, clearing him to practice and even play the regular season. He still brings his inhaler to sessions, but we've neither seen him nor heard of him using it before or during practice. The Tennessee Titans will definitely feel a lot more confident entering the next season with their star rookie back on the squad. Anyway, Burke is a classic example of facing your fears. When asked about his conditioning routines, he said that he kept on putting himself in situations in which he knew his asthma would flare up, and once it did, he just kept pushing through. That's it from our side, folks. So what do you think? Is Brady really behind Arians' exit? And with Deshaun out, how will the Browns fare this season? Let us know in the comments below. Remember, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content in the future. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.